everybody want to have something to say about the show. So then comes the questions of what's your end result? Like, what's your end game? Like, if it's bad, it's bad. And then we got to go into this again next week and hope for better. Like, habit and hope, that shouldn't even be a conversation no more in a new era. Understanding forms of character development within the parameters of a PG product while time is constantly changing and moving forward. Like, we're not really getting the same content that we grew up getting, and I think is a process for everybody to learn to live with. I didn't necessarily enjoy All the World last night, and I only got to see an hour and a half of it. I could only imagine what 3 hours of that would have been, and we're gonna get into parts of it now. The parts that I even saw, I really wasn't a fan of, but I guess these are the early goings to get to the good shit. I ain't saying it's good, but I'm saying I don't see where, even if a couple of thousand people were busy this week, you know what I'm saying, compared to, well, maybe a last year, I'm not seeing how that's speaking to a similarity in content creation, even though it has clearly changed. I want to give this about 2 to 3 more weeks, before I can really start calling out how this show is being booked and why it's being booked like this in the moment or in these moments. But I'm not crazy about last night's Raw. So what did we have, man, for October 24th? Dom's victory over AJ Styles. Judgment Day came face to face to OC. Meh. Finn Balor, Carl Anderson. A solid match. What I got from the end of it with Rhea doing the body slam was it was a nice spot for Rhea. There's certain forms of like real quiet character development happening, like the little backstage segment where they got a Rhea problem now. It's like I'm noticing small seeds being planted, and then of course it comes to the follow up, but then it comes to like preference. Like, what would impress you? That's a question I always ask myself. Like, if I'm not feeling this, what would I be feeling if the situation was, within my control? I mean, like, that's how I feel about that. So, whatever. Finn won against Carl Anderson. Rhea did a little body slam on Gallows. Now they got a Rhea problem. We gonna see how they solve it. I only want to see a number of females get in on that, but I hope they don't try to pull no Raquel Gonzalez nonsense, but we'll see. Then what we got? The Miz attempt to give insight on Dexter Lumis situation got interrupted by Gargano or R-Truth. I've been over R-Truth the whole time. I gave him a chance to hear his promo, and I'm not into it. Like, I'm kind of bored with this little the little Loomis and Miz thing. So we'll see what next week's show brings, and it's a little cartoony for me. So let's be done with it and move forward. That's how I feel about it. Like, what's next? So we got Theory and Mustafa Ali. Everyone has their opinions right now on Ali. So let's end Theory. I know that the game has a way of usually having these guys both go over. Like, it's happened a lot in the 1.5 days while he was still around. I noticed that from his booking, but with a situation like this, with a lot more on the line as far as just like everything goes on the main roster, I'm not too sure. Like, Ali going for Seth is clearly a suicide mission. Everyone knows that. That's a suicide mission. There's no arguing, there's no debating that. Seth is legitimately where everyone has always knew he was. I called it out last week. I said Seth isn't really an orchestra man. He do his little thing real fast, but then he get right back to Seth freaking Rollins and perfect. That's how I feel about that. That's just me and my opinion. I mean, I like this for different reasons, and I watch it different ways. So, uh, Ali trying to go for that because they got the match in Saudi coming up at Crown Jewel. I mean, knock me out for liking a good match. You know what I'm saying? I like to think that the characters are developed via the types of matches they have. Like, it takes me back to the Cruiserweight Classic when the superstars didn't know any of these, the fans didn't know any of these guys that were coming out. But by week 3, there were real cheers in the crowd. There were fans being developed because of what we know these guys go through. Most of the matches that everyone was going crazy about when, cats would get busted open and, blood was added and all that. Like, you felt closer to the superstar, and this is where their cheers came from mostly. Not just penis jokes in your promos. You know what I'm saying? The Rock would bleed like a stuffed pig, says JR. You know what I mean? This is old school. Same thing with Austin. Same thing with Triple H. Same thing with Kurt Angle. It can go on. Same thing with Undertaker. You know what I mean? Same thing with Randy. We all remember Randy and then Brock Lesnar. You see what I'm saying? So, not saying we want to get to the point where blood is introduced in the match between Seth and Ali at Crown Jewel. I'm saying I would rather watch a character develop via his in-ring prowess and capability. He's one of those. Like, there are different ways everyone develops their character. Like, Cora Jade isn't that great in the ring, but I rock with the whole generation of Jade I did, on top of her literally going heel because of all of the politics and stuff that goes on. Theory is like just completely immersed in this. We're hearing a whole bunch of who likes him and who doesn't, and it's definitely not the time. No one knows when the right time is gonna be for a cash in. I can definitely say that. And then we're looking at Ali, man, and I really feel like if Ali went back to his little ominous promos where he was acting like Batman all the time, like if he started turning up on stuff, like remember he was a little SmackDown hacker, he did the little retribution thing. These are forms of character development. When he jumps out there on some prominent role shit, everyone's gonna go crazy about it. I think his promos need to be developed. They need to be solidified that he could cut a solid promo. Of course, he needs to win matches, but he needs a better song than what he got too. Like he needs an entire character revamp. That's how I feel about that with Ali. I think he's good. I always liked Ali. I was hyped when he got the call up to SmackDown from 205 years ago. Well, excuse me, to SmackDown from 205. So, I guess I just had a little bit more time invested with this character, and I've seen what he's able to do on 205, so I believe in that. He's had enough things like, where he's shown that he can, like he has so many elements, and of course, like we hear most of the time, like what's that, a 5-2 player? He got all the things. He's shown us in different moments that he could do it. So now to watch, Gorilla, those guys actually put it together for him, or watch him, or assist him, or he assists them in putting together a character that's gonna work, not just a racist police officer or a foreigner, blah blah blah. Like no, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like Ali clearly could be a character that's taken very seriously, but I would almost say this is where another title needs to be introduced. That's not the United States Championship. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, it was like the European title, and it was the European title and the Intercontinental Championship. You know what I mean? So, light heavyweight championship. I know it's an era where titles are, mad on, but I feel like these things was gonna for me, it would really take the product to the next level, in my opinion. Like, no one's worried about no cruiserweight title. I'm talking European light heavyweight. We don't got to worry about no hardcore title. You already see what that shit did. It devolved horribly. So if we have things for the vastness of the roster to work toward, as opposed to just everybody wants to be United States champion, but then you got to jump into the echelon of that, so you got to string together a couple of wins and the predetermined, like, the story's too empty and hollow, like the building's gonna fall. So I get where the complainers, or the naysayers or the critics, you know what I'm saying, like, respectfully to that idea, you know what I'm saying, don't like what's been going on for months now, but either way, that's Ali in theory, man. I don't even care who won that for real, because we gotta hurry up and get through this. I don't know what happened. Whatever. .com got whatever they got going on. Omos beat 4 local competitors in a 4-1 handicap match. Omos and Braun Strowman, different brands. I don't really know what to say about them. It's a big man match. Like, it's going to be pretty solid. I know Strowman's going to do his little tumble. I think we need to see a little bit of big man physicality and capability. That's what we gonna need to see. Braun ain't that big. Omos looking real crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a couple of moments where, if you just looking from the shit talking standpoint, Omos was turning up the other night. You know what I'm saying? I think that was on SmackDown. Braun is not scared of any of it, but he can handle his promo. So it's like, these are the small things that make me want to get interested in the match. Like, we know the process and the formula and format, so how do we get there? And then getting there is like, alright. But if it's like, oh, you're just okay with anything, well, what would you rather me do? Stop watching and go listen to podcasts about it? I mean, I technically already do that, but that's just, my opinion on this. What we got after that? Elias and Chad Gable. Good on Elias that he's back. Good on Gable. But if these guys was vying for one of the many titles that I just put out there, which I know is not a popular idea right now, but I'm saying, like, it's levels to having these things on your brand. Like, it can't just be 4. Oh no, there's 6 with the tag team. No, because then the tag teams can't really go and win a singles title like that. Like, politics, bro. I'm not really messing with it too much. So who won what? Yeah, Elias beat Gable. Gable is great. He needs to continue having some kind of role on the show. Baron Corbin, Johnny Gargano. Man, I mean, Baron Corbin right now, in my opinion, running with JBL is great. I think it works for them both. I think it gives JBL a reason to be back on TV, and it gives Baron Corbin a little bit more of a, reason to, be memorized on television. As far as this modern day wrestling guy gimmick goes, I mean, shit, they running it back. I'm not going to sit here and say I love it or I hate it. I'm just going with it. Oh, you'll just take whatever's given to you, because I'm going to yell and say I want something different. Who should I ask for? You know what I'm saying? Like, who? And that's why I say, who would y'all rather see? You know what I mean? Like, go ahead and sound off in my comments about it. Now, what else we got about that? Bailey and Bianca Belair. I believe that was the main event, which it was. The women's division, first and foremost, at least, is being put in the main event. I'll say that because that matters. Bianca Belair right now is in, like, the longest holding pattern as champion ever. It's a lot of, she hurt my friend and I'm gonna go get her back, and no, I want the title. Like, right now, it doesn't really feel like the women's division is very vast, because everyone's in the same segment, so the ideas of them are being, like, brought out. But my thing is, where's the, like, because the girls are different when it comes to how their characters are developed. I think that's a really good way to lead in with that. I'm not crazy about how the ladies have been being developed for the past couple. You know, I would say since the women's division in 2.5, I mean, yeah, in 1.5 on NXT, that was when it was like really, really good stuff happening. You know, like Dakota and Tegan in War Games, EO jumping off the top of the War Games, John with the trash can on the head. Small things, but still things nonetheless. Who was the little one at the time that everybody was going crazy over back then? You know what I mean? Like, but these moments right now, Damage Control, I enjoy them because I love all three of them dearly. You know, we love Bianca because of her capability, you know, and then this whole thing with Nikki Cross now, she being back, I need to see, like, cause she got Taz vibes now, so I need to see how how much she got on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's her promo about? A lot of accents. Speaking of accents, Kevin Patrick needs to not be on commentary. He needs to be doing something else. Byron and Corey, I know their dynamic is a little crazy. Could get hot buttony, I understand, but not that guy. Get Corey and Pat on real commentary, and keep King Book on. You know, let's get back to this because Nikki Cross. What's Doudrop got to say about this? You see what I'm saying? Vastness of the women's division. Where's anyone else at? You know, where's Blissy? Where's Oscar? Oh no, written off TV because Damage Control beat them up. So, and then we heard they beat up LeRae backstage. All right, so now they beating up Pixie. You know what this is? This is early shades of the Riot Squad. You know what I'm saying? And I see it, and I'm not really like going crazy about it because we seen what happened to the Riot Squad. Like Liv barely survived, and Sarah Logan just Kill Billed her hand out the grass. You know what I'm saying? In the graveyard. So, and Ruby Riot, I'm not even gonna comment on that because it's a little obvious. You know what I'm saying? How well everyone's doing for themselves. So, I'm not like super thrilled about last night's episode. I'm personally anticipating you know, the follow-up from Halloween Havoc on Saturday on 2.0 tonight. I'll probably catch that tomorrow morning. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow night, depending on when Hulu really wants to drop it. And then I got like the mental capacity to want to like, you know, sit there for an hour in it. But hey, man, ultimately, I do thank you for watching and wanting to pay attention. You could go now. Subscribe.